Y'all, go pull up your chair, fix your drink, come on over, roll up a smoke, whatever it is you do, and let's get right into this one. We're gonna go through this together. He's gotta come up, cause she's lighter. Kevin Hart's ex-wife, Tory Hart, says that she was trashed online after the comedian married his second wife, Eniko. Now, this all stems from something new that bubbled up around May 23rd of 2024. So we're not rehashing an old story. This is Tory Hart telling her side of things. Check this out. By the way, when Cat Williams sat on that Shay Shay interview, Tory Hart is one of the people who he called her name, and he said that Tory Hart is a real comedian. She wrote a lot of Kevin Hart's earlier work, and she was the inspiration behind a lot of his earlier jokes. It's just that he got the blow up before she did, which that's all good, but he left her behind. He didn't tell anybody that she was a good comedian. He didn't try to put her on in any way in Hollywood. He just ran ahead with his new light-skinned wife and left her behind, right? Okay, so I hate to be the one to put this narrative out there, but as a person from the black community, I know that this does exist. Colorism. Now, Tory Hart says that she has faced a lot of criticism in the industry as her rise to fame was attached to the celebrity status of Kevin Hart. A lot of people are saying, why are you still using Kevin Hart's last name? Well, Tory addressed that, I believe, sometime around 2021, where she said, my name is Tory Hart, and I'm keeping the heart. And I'm going to be a heart for as long as I want to, until I decide I no longer want to be a heart. We could get into all the psychological ramifications of her changing her name, the family breaking up, there are children involved. Believe it or not, children are highly affected at every little thing you do as adults when you go through a divorce. So when they are growing up to see mommy and daddy living in the same house, having the same names as they do have the same names, and then suddenly daddy goes left with a new family and mommy name changes to something different, but the children still keep daddy's name. It's like mommy becomes the hurt outcast. We won't get into that right now. Let's save that for another video. So she has openly admitted to writing some of Kevin Hart's earlier work and being the inspiration behind several of his jokes, right? You know, when earlier on in your career, this is a typical thing. The one that you started out with ain't the one that you arrive with, kind of thing. And sometimes it's about you outgrowing the person you're with, and sometimes it's about people just being people. Unfair, unbalanced people. People start getting successful and start cutting off their day ones because you don't fit where I'm heading. I'm heading into an elite circle. Everybody's wife is light-skinned up there. I can't have you with me. And if I do, I'm going to have to tuck you in the back. But I want a wife that I could have on my arm when the cameras are flashing. When we go down the red carpet. You're not red carpet ready. I'm going to go get me a racially ambiguous looking woman. And that's who I want for my wife because she'll fit into that world. I'm not saying that's what Kevin did, but I'm pretty sure there are others that did do that, right? But this is the energy that this is giving. But she said that the foul-mouthed remarks comparing her to his current wife, Eniko Hart, and battling the public's opinion, that was a hard pill to swallow. That was a very hard pill to swallow. Quote unquote, she said, in the beginning it was hard. It's hard, of course, but I feel like, if I'm really being honest, it's more so that they demonize black women. The Culture Club was the show that she was on, and she was talking about this. Especially dark-skinned black women, she said. because that's what I've seen in the media and what I've dealt with. I mean, even when he moved on to a new relationship, it was like the crowd was saying, oh, he got a come up because she's lighter or whatever. You know, when you switch relationships, you go with somebody else, people usually compare your last person and be like, God damn, she got a big old tall, muscly man, and her last man that she left, he was short and fat and out of shape. You know, same thing for vice versa for the men. People compare, especially if you're famous, they're going to compare your last wife to your present wife. You know what I mean? I don't know who this Kevin got on his arm now, but damn, she looked good. She looked way better than his wife, his last wife. That, she said, was hurtful to her. And she knew where it was coming from, right? It's the light skin, dark skin kind of thing. Then she said, you know what? But that's a whole nother show. She also said that before sharing that she was called a lot of vile, ugly, dirty names and other things online. Now, once she started putting out pictures of once he, Kevin Hart, not her, Kevin Hart started putting out pictures of all of us together as a family unit, there were a few pictures that went viral from birthday parties. I was the one, like, if we're going to be a family and we're going to show the world, then we got to show the world what we're doing. Then they need to see the positive too. So she said she was the one. They have a link, and I went and I looked at the link. So the children were having birthday parties, and Kevin Hart and Eniko, his new wife, Eniko, and his ex-wife, they were in pictures at the children's birthday party. And everybody was hugging up and looked like, you know, they were in each other's good graces. There wasn't no drama. But a lot of people were on the comment section. One person said, why are you supporting him still? You look like you still have feelings for that man. Another person said, girl, you just still trying to secure the bag, huh? And you trying to get Kevin back under false pretense. You sneaky. And then there were other people who said, this takes a lot of maturity to do this. Now, I'm going to tell you what, it does take a lot of maturity to be a ex that still shows up at events when the present person is there, especially if you think that my husband was cheating with this woman while we were married and then filed for a divorce and left me and went and married her. And now I'm expected to show up to birthday parties and all events with a big smile on my face and hug her and greet her and take pictures with her for the world to see. A lot of women would have been like, hell no, I'm not doing that. You violated me, and you violated me with this person. She knew you were married to me, and she still was having an extramarital affair with you. So you ended up marrying your side chick and now turned me into an ex, into a single mom, into somebody on the side, and I'm bitter about it, and it might take years for me to get over this. That kind of energy. But ex-wife said, I got over it, you know, and we need to get on with this. Tory Hart responded after folks criticized her for posting the photo with Kevin Hart and the wife, Eniko. They never put up pictures of you. Check it. It wasn't her that put the picture up. It was Kevin that put those pictures up. Albeit, she said she agreed, but she wanted the world to know that they were working their stuff out behind the scenes. And we're getting to a place where we can attend birthday parties for the children. And we can be around each other without fighting and clawing each other's hair out and pulling each other's hair and scraping at each other's faces and stuff. Funny enough, that was the picture that caused a lot of criticism, because it was the picture where Tory Hart was standing right next to Kevin Hart's new wife. And people made some harsh comparisons. One, she's taller. Two, she's lighter. She looks a mix between Asian and black or white and black. So she looks biracial. She is biracially ambiguous. And, you know, they just kept going in and in. Oh, she looks way better. Kevin made a come up, you know, and that was very hurtful for her. Tory said as the bigger celebrity, though, it was Kevin's responsibility to address the public discourse, whether positive or negative. But she understands that he could have been in a difficult place to do so at the time. You know what? Me, myself, looking into their situation, Kevin didn't owe anybody any explanation as far as the public discourse goes. Imagine Kevin Hart trying to explain to the people who are saying negative things about his ex-wife every time he posts, making negative comparisons between her and his new wife, and to those who are bashing him at the same time, thinking he cheated and married his side chick. And that man would never find time to be able to study all the movie scripts and show up to set on time and have his mind frame in the right place to be able to project that energy onto the screen to make all these movies that make so much money, to be able to plan his comedy routines and tour and do all these specials. He just wouldn't be able to, you know, they have a saying, right? And the saying says, a dog does not bark at every stone that is thrown its way. Because if you spend your time doing that, you will never get to your destination. Just let that sink in. Now, in the beginning, he might have felt like he was being pulled in two directions because he was in a new relationship. And then it may seem like I'm trying to get back with my ex-wife from doing too much to appease her. So how do I handle it? So he might have been in a tough situation because of that, is what his ex-wife said. Or she could have been feeling some type of insecurities, which would have brought problems to his new relationship. Why the fuck are you catering to your ex so much? Kind of thing, right? Tory and Kevin officially divorced in 2011 after his infidelities and during his rise as one of the top comedian acts in Hollywood. Now, they welcomed two children, their son Hendrix and their daughter Heaven, during their 8-year marriage. That same year, Kevin went public with his current wife, Eniko Hart, who he married years later in 2014. Soon as they officially divorced, Kevin went public with Eniko Hart, which means common sense. They were having a relationship behind the scenes, right? Before the divorce was finalized. But let's be fair and let's be real. Let's be adult. When a relationship is finalized in divorce, it doesn't mean that they just split up yesterday and the relationship is finalized today. It takes a while for divorce to be finalized, especially when money is involved and fame is involved and children are involved and the splitting of assets are involved. In that meantime, that gap period from the time Kevin moved out of that home and said, we're going to get a divorce. I don't live here anymore. I'm moving on. This is going to be rough on the kids, but we got to work this out. But I'm filing a divorce. From that moment, they're separated. Now, while they're separated, there was no agreement of let's go see if we could find ourselves and then make it back to each other. Let's see if we can work this out and save this marriage. It was straight up a divorce. We're no longer together. So he was free to go be with whoever he wanted to be with. Now, maybe in that period, his ex-wife had a different expectation and things weren't addressed clearly. So she's thinking, yeah, he's over here saying he wanted a divorce just so he could leave the house and go cheat. Oh, now he's cheating with Eniko, right? Okay, let's do the divorce. Rumor has it that Eniko met Kevin in 2009. Now, if Eniko met Kevin in 2009, Kevin's divorce was finalized in 2011 from Tory, which means there might have been a period where, maybe the marriage to Tory was on the rocks and man moved on. I see them put this up all the time on social media. When a woman quits, she quits or emotionally first. She becomes emotionally uninvested. She becomes emotionally distracted, or she leaves the relationship emotionally first and then physically after. She checks out first and then after physically. Well, I got to tell people this. It's the same thing for a man. Especially when there are children involved. A man, a good man, a father to his children, never wants to leave his family, leave his children behind. His biggest concern, even when things are difficult with his wife to the point where he's probably no longer attracted to her even, maybe she has become problematic, right? And maybe she is taking him for granted and feeling like you're stuck in this because you're married. And now he has to show her, I'm not stuck in this. I have options. I got one life to live. I could make the hard decision to leave your ass and go find somebody else. But these kids are going to hurt, right? So men check out too. That's when you just exist in it. You're pushing the door. You're coming home to the same address. You're happy to see your kids. You hate seeing this bitch, right? So we check out emotionally too as men. So maybe if he met Eniko in 2009 and his divorce was not finalized with Tory until 2011, there might have been some time, a play-in period, where they actually did do something while he was still married to Tory. So rumor has it that Eniko met Kevin in 2009 and began dealing with Kevin when his marriage to Tory was in shambles. Right. Doesn't mean you're divorced. Doesn't even mean you're separated. It just means they're in shambles. It's heading to the end. Nobody is willing to compromise to work anything out. There is no talking, let's fix this. It's just a train wreck in slow motion. It's going to wreck. Tory has often expressed her belief that Kevin was cheating with Eniko during their marriage, although Eniko denies it fully. Of course, Eniko has to keep up that facade. She doesn't want to be the one looked at as a homewrecker, as a person that stole Kevin Hart from his first family, away from a married man, from his children and his wife, and took him for herself. She doesn't want to be looked at as that way. She wants to be looked at as, listen, he made a clean break from that relationship and we started a new, fresh relationship that blossomed and grew out of love. You see the narrative? Kevin Hart's attached to a lot of corporate entities, so he has to keep a squeaky clean kind of record. You don't want to be looked at as that. And Eniko definitely does not want to be looked at as the homewrecker side chick that did everything she could to make herself the wife. She could also end up looking like she was chasing money and fame and a famous person, right? But the funny man, Kevin Hart, he has openly admitted in his past all his faults as a cheater in a few of his early comedic specials. Now, but he has never directly cleared up the timeline of when he began dating Eniko. And a lot of people are curious, why have you not cleared up the timeline of when you actually began dating Eniko? He previously called her his Reb in various interviews and publicly declared it's too risky to cheat. Now, during a 2016 interview on a Breakfast Club, he said it's too risky to cheat. Sadly, a year after that, 2017, he was deeply embroiled in a public cheating scandal that nearly destroyed his marriage to Eniko, his second marriage. A FBI investigation discovered failed extortion attempts, demanding that Kevin Hart pay $10 million to suppress a sexually suggestive tape of him cheating on his wife. I always side-eyed Kevin Hart for leaving his dark-skinned wife for a light-skinned girl. Now you cheating on your light-skinned wife with a white girl. That's what one person said. The alleged extortionist, listen to this. This is why these people exist in a bubble. Imagine being worth so much money that everybody sees you as a walking lick. Even the people closest to you who you are working your ass off and sharing your fame and your newfound fortunes with, making sure they're okay, making sure they have nice houses, living nice communities, their children go to good schools. Because you're my close friend. You've been there for a long time with me. In Kevin Hart's situation, they thought that the person who was going after the money and extorting him for the $10 million was the young lady Monita Sabag, who he had actually had the interaction with, we'll call it the entanglement with. But guess who it was? It was his former friend. And at the time, it was his friend, Jonathan Todd Jackson is his name. The FBI investigated this, and you know how the FBI does. No stone is left unturned. So they eventually got to the bottom of who it was. Now, the case was dismissed, and Kevin Hart apologized in a viral Instagram video that was shared back in September of 2017. Meanwhile, viewers didn't learn the impact his infidelity had on his marriage to Eniko until seeing her crying her eyes out in his Netflix docuseries that was called Don't Fuck This Up. The cheating video also caused Hart to dodge a $60 million lawsuit from Sabag, who blamed Kevin Hart for allowing Jackson in the room. Now check it. Sabag, pretty much the chick he cheated with, had a lawsuit of her own that said, you put me in that room to have sex with me. Of course, we hit it off. I thought you were attractive. We were doing our thing, but then you let your friend in so he could videotape it, which was not the case. That friend actually was close to Kevin, saw that Kevin was blowing up, or he was big, and he was making a lot of money, and the friend wanted a piece of the money. You can't go to your homie and be like, yo, dog, let me get $10 million. So he designed a way to do it. Well, I'm the person who Kevin, if he's doing any dirt, he keep me close by. I'm his confidant. That's my ride or die. That's my real homie. I know shit about him I would never tell. So when he took Shorty in the room, I already knew what room they were going to be in. So I set up some recording devices in that room. He trusted me. And then I took the footage and then I started sending him letters. You're going to have to pay me this much or I'm leaking this to the public. And it's going to destroy your new marriage. Knowing damn well that man just came out of another marriage that he lost. He was in a volatile situation. And he's Kevin Hart now. He's famous. And you're about to leak a sex tape. So Kevin actually said, listen, you know what? I won't let anybody get rich and profit off of my mistake. I made a mistake. I'm just going to have to own it to the public. But you ain't getting no damn $10 million. Kevin Hart was suspected of cheating again after Eniko shared a cryptic post. Though no rumors about this one surfaced. Yet, Kevin Hart's former assistant, Maisha Shakes, claimed to have proof of numerous times that he cheated on Eniko. She said Kevin was just like a serial cheater. She discussed scandalous details about her time working under the owner of Kevin Hart Enterprises during a live interview with Tasha K. Tasha K, you know, the blogger who is embroiled in issues. And now that I think about it, let me go look on YouTube because I haven't seen Tasha K in a while. Man, that climb to the top, whew, hell of a ride. Tasha K ended up losing her own lawsuit, defamation, to Cardi B and was ordered to pay millions of dollars. Millions of dollars she said she did not have. And I think personally it financially ruined Tasha K. And now the money is not coming in like it used to. And her platform is not as hot as it used to be. And she's just in a place where It is what it is. Now back to Kevin Hart, who also had a lawsuit out against Tasha K. There goes Tasha K again, but we're not talking about Tasha K. Kevin Hart later sued Tasha K for defamation and sued Shakes for revealing what she claims to have heard while eavesdropping during his private conversations. He also claims that he received a call from someone on behalf of Tasha K claiming that she demanded $250,000 before this interview with his ex-assistant would be leaked to the public, would be published. Well, we'll see how that goes. He's currently seeking punitive damages for any harm to his career and reputation from Tasha K. So there goes Tasha K. She went from losing to Cardi B millions of dollars to now in a lawsuit with Kevin Hart. But back to this. What Kevin Hart's ex-wife said about how he made a come up was what she was trying to say, that that's how the public saw it. As the black community, we're into this notion that light is bright, light is right. Dark, like, you know, I've seen it. I've seen people say to dark-skinned women in front of me my whole life, man, you real pretty for a dark-skinned girl. You know, and it always hit me the wrong way, like, what the hell is that supposed to mean? You're real pretty for a dark-skinned girl? It's like saying most dark-skinned people are ugly, but you're an exception kind of thing, right? And she believes that she got the same treatment and the crowd was saying Kevin leveled up simply because Eniko looked racially ambiguous and she was lighter. Leave your comments in the comment section below. At the end of the day, let me end this video like this. I wish them all the best. I hope they do co-parent and these children are raised beautifully. I hope they, as adults, mature and they are able to keep the drama away from the children and put the children first. And I also hope that Kevin Hart's first wife finds peace and success, Tory Hart, because she deserves it. And also Kevin, that he continues to grow and continues to become a better man along with his new wife, which is not so new anymore. They've been married for quite some time now, right? And that's that. I'll catch y'all in the comment section. I'm out. Peace.